In British Columbia,
Come on, guys.
there is a refuge like no other,
Puts a smile on my face.
run by a family like no other. They raise orphaned bear cubs and give them a second chance.
A second chance at a life in the wild.
In British Columbia's Bulkley Valley, there's a one-of-a-kind sanctuary for bear cubs and other orphaned wildlife.
We started the shelter back in 1990. I could use some help here. It was meant to be just a little thing to help out every once in a while when something happened here locally. And yeah, it's kind of mushroomed from there. The little cranky one is back in here.
Oh, really? 26 years ago, Angelika and her husband Peter started the Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter.
I remember her.
My parents were both zookeepers in Germany, so they had a fair bit of experience and felt that they could help in a small way with animals that had been impacted by human activity. They went to the government with this proposal and, hey, we'll lend a helping hand, all cheerful and happy, and the government said no.
On my way, Peter. Close the door.
And that launched a 4-year battle to try and get permits to be allowed to do this. And, you know, now we're one of the largest bear rehabilitators in the world.
Watch, you have the bear up above you. What sort of operation? I think the most encompassing word would be crazy. We'll run on crazy hours and with crazy budgets. Good teamwork. Yeah, you too. It is a family operation.
Come on, girl, it's okay. There you go, there you go.
Michael is our son. Tanya's our daughter.
Growing up in a wildlife shelter is a very unique lifestyle.
You wanna go play? Yeah. Bear, yes. You wanna go to the bear? Okay.
When I was very young, we still had bears in our bathtub. You know, I'd come to school tired because the bears were screaming in the bathtub at night because they wanted to get fed.
Start here, work your way down.
Both Tanya and her husband Sean help manage the shelter.
This is a 100% true blue, no messing around family operation.
Is there anything they're not eating?
Kids.
Okay,
They
cool.
don't eat kids. So
Oh, bummer, that's where I was gonna feed them tonight.
The shelter also relies on a crew of dedicated volunteers to help out.
These are hungry bears, hungry growing bears. So these smoothies are a way of feeding the bears all the nutrients they need with the least waste possible. There are 3 local supermarkets in town that pack up all of their old fruit that they can't sell anymore, so we can feed our animals. It's pretty much the only way our animals stay fed.
The bears also get a specially made milk powder mixed into their smoothies. But there's a problem. Angelika didn't expect this many cubs so early in the year.
We have 16 bears in care now.
they're really hungry.
We usually get 3 or 4, so that's 4 times as much as the highest number that I was budgeting for. The bucket of milk is 360 Canadian dollars. It lasts us about 5-6 days right now. We have a fair amount of money that we need to raise.
There is no government funding, so the shelter relies on private donations to keep all the cubs fed.
We put a press release out. We asked for help. Angelika speaking, can I help you? Well, we're having a very, very unusual spring. We have all these babies and they all need milk. We're looking at a busy summer, I think.
And it's about to get busier.
Right as we were coming in, so did a conservation officer with another bear cub, and that bear cub needed all the help she could get.
Yeah, it looks like he got hit by a vehicle, huh?
She couldn't stand, she had absolutely no fight in her. Bear cubs shouldn't be able to be picked up, and the CO picked her right up.
Okay, we'll have a cage ready for her.
It's challenging, right, when these animals come in, especially when they're in such bad shape. It's all hands on deck.
I just put her up here and just try to make her as comfortable on there as possible. Like the lower jaw is way further out than the upper jaw.
She's jutted.
So do we have a fractured jaw?
Yeah. Is there any movement?
Here.
Right there?
Right there. Can you find my phone? I need a vet. She's not fighting us at all, and that's not a good sign. But it could be just dehydration. It's really hard to tell.
So what is that stuff exactly?
It's saline. It's rehydrating her. And I'm getting some reaction, so she feels. Show me, sweetheart.
Bears that come in such rough shape, it's always kind of a 50-50 chance, right?
Okay, put her in. You don't want to stress her out too much.
This is the emergency line of Wasabi Animal Hospital.
Mike, Angelika here. I just got a bear cub in that the conservation officers brought in. If you could call me back as soon as possible, thank you.
I find when I'm here, I'm quite pessimistic about animals. You obviously have the best hope for them, but if you fall in love with every animal and are convinced that every animal will make it, you'll have a really hard time. So I was quite certain she wasn't actually going to make it through the night.
I have no idea where my wallet is.
Angelika's newest black bear cub has made it through the night. But now she's off to the vets to find out just how sick this cub really is.
Once you name them, you get more attached. And usually we don't name them until we're fairly certain that they can survive, and we haven't reached that point with her yet. But Amy said that she had thought of a name, and I told her, I don't want to hear it. She says, but I think Wasabi would be a really good name. And I kind of went, oh God, that's perfect. She certainly has will to live, there's no question there. But I mean, it's a fact of rehab. Every animal we get is in some way compromised. Otherwise, they wouldn't come to us. They only come when they're not okay.
While Angelika and Wasabi head into town, back at the shelter, lead volunteer Kim Grouse is dealing with a rescue of her own.
This little deer got born on the side of the highway. Mom got hit by a car or a truck, and people saw that she was still pregnant and ripped open the sack that it was in, wrapped it in a towel and brought it to us.
Her rescuers named her Friday, after the day she was born.
So it's just an hour and a half old by now. We looked her over when she came in. We don't see any injuries. Ooh. So it's trying to stand now. Once it's standing, we can give it some colostrum. It's kind of like the starter milk. If you feed it right away, it doesn't want to stand up. It just goes to sleep. So we just let her. There we go. Now let's see if she wants to drink.
She's so cute.
While Friday tries to take her first steps, in Smithers, Angelika and Wasabi are hoping for some good news of their own.
Well, she came in last night and then she was totally unresponsive, and I've been feeding her every 2 hours little bits of fluids and food in an attempt, to give her a chance. And this morning when I came at 6, she actually got up in the cage and turned around and came towards me, recognizing that I would bring food and water. So then you just feel that little spark of hope. You do form an attachment when you are this involved, right? Like you can't help not to. It's okay, I got you. You have to be really cautious with that.
My mom, she puts her whole heart and soul into every creature that she meets.
Oh, you are awesome.
You just got told by a bear cub.
Did you get the message?
It's phenomenal, the kind of communication that she can set up with an animal.
Hey, my friend. What's the matter?
It's completely unseen, unheard.
Don't.
It's just energy that she transmits between her and whatever creature she's dealing with.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
She's incredibly empathetic, and she carries that out to people and animals in exactly the same method.
Do we have to amputate? Yes. Yes? Uh-oh. Which parts do we have to take off? Yowie. Yowie. That was a very good choice.
When people meet my mom for the first time,
Just close the door behind you.
usually their impression is, wow.
Where's the door? It's right against the door.
She's an indomitable spirit. She's just amazing.
Angelika is a force to be reckoned with. And she hopes so is Wasabi.
Okay, so let's take a look at this little guy. Dealing with domesticated animals all day long wears a little thin, so it's always nice to deal with the wildlife, and I feel very fortunate. Can she walk?
Very little.
I mean, she certainly does know how to, she can move. Just maybe a little bit sluggish. It could be neurological. I personally think that there's just malnutrition and dehydration. Now, you were concerned about her jaw, though, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
If the cub's jaw is damaged, she may never be able to survive in the wild.
It's kind of back, the top, right?
Does she seem to be chewing okay? Have you noticed
She
that?
licks.
Okay.
I don't know if she chews, but she's really weak too, right?
It's hard to say whether she was born that way or whether she has developed that from an injury. It seems like the jaw moves okay. Yeah, you could take an x-ray of the jaw. Okay. Now, we would have to sedate her to do that, and I would be inclined to, get her back on track as far as hydration and get her health status improved before we sedate her.
Okay.
Wasabi is not out of the woods.
She definitely has a bit more spunk today than she had last night. But wildlife is strange, you can have the feeling that you're making headway and then within 24 hours they die. I won't hold an easy breath until tomorrow.
Angelika will take her back to the shelter until she's stable enough to be x-rayed.
Wasabi.
Back from the vets, Angelika checks out Wasabi's ability to eat.
Hey, sweetie. Want a drink? Well, she's a lot better. She's taking food and water by herself. She's definitely fighting with us, and that's always a big thing.
Though unable to walk, Wasabi's appetite hasn't suffered.
Yeah, I know you want more. This is kind of my measurement how much we do for her. And because she's fighting, she's eating and trying to assist us in the recovery process, she will get all the help that we can give her. Don't stick your whole nose in there. You can't breathe. Yeah, see, told you.
As Wasabi struggles back to health,
Hey.
news of the newborn fawn Friday has gone viral.
Today we have a new international star.
Her name is Friday. She's a celebrity now with her own Facebook page, all because of the way she came into this world.
After being delivered via a roadside cesarean, their little fawn is gaining worldwide attention. It seems everyone has fallen in love with Friday.
Mama.
Yes?
You want to see the deer?
Our little dear Friday has made news across Canada
No touching.
and is now getting phone calls from news companies in the United States. And we're happy for whatever kind of publicity we can get because it gets the word out about wildlife rehab in general. So we'll take what we can get.
The shelter relies on donations to help rescued animals like Friday and her new penmate, Trooper, another orphan. Friday's sudden popularity is very good news for donations. And bottle feeding her is good training for volunteer Thomas Conrad.
So just hand underneath, and let him take it in the mouth before you tip it up so he doesn't suck air. There you go.
I am going to study veterinary medicine back home. So this will be probably the only chance for me before my studies to get a bit of experience with exotic wildlife. That's my first time feeding a deer, actually. It's a cool experience. It's really awesome.
Good job. Certified.
That was really quick.
The next morning is Wasabi's big day. She is finally strong enough to be sedated for an X-ray of her jaw.
And hopefully that's going to tell us if there is any fractures. Well, the worst case scenario is that it's not fixable and she needs to be euthanized. I think we're the only people that are happy when something growls at us because it means that they're getting better and they're behaving more natural. I'm cautiously optimistic. She's eating and digesting correctly, but she's not out of the woods yet, so hopefully the x-rays will tell us.
Back at the vet's, Angelika has brought in a tranquilized Wasabi for a final diagnosis.
Yeah, right there.
If Wasabi's injured jaw prevents her from feeding normally, she can't be released into the wild. Angelika may have no other choice but to put her down.
I almost wonder if it's more of a bone infection from a fracture, but this, it almost feels a little bit soft on the outside here, almost like there might be a little bit of an abscess there.
Okay.
Come on, fella. So let's take that shot. Just like that. Good? Good.
The X-ray tells Dr. Desharnais exactly what's wrong with Wasabi.
So this part of the jaw was fractured in this area, and it allowed bacteria from the mouth to get into the bone and the tooth, and so that tooth is probably abscessed. It's not a big deal because that tooth is one of the baby teeth and it's going to come out anyways. This fracture will go on to heal completely, and this jaw is quite stable. There's no problem with that. Well, I think with antibiotic therapy, this bear is going to do just fine.
Okay.
Looks good.
All right.
Okay.
It's really good news.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. All right, good.
So this is great news. Okay, come on, Wasabi. We go home. It's just really satisfying to know that she has a chance. And make me sleep a lot better tonight, that's for sure. I was pretty worried about the appointment today, so.
While Wasabi may be on the road to recovery,
Hey guys.
it looks like Friday the famous fawn has much more than a fighting chance.
When you enter the cage, as soon as you enter the cage with their milk bottles, oh no. You go back. You go back. They're gonna jump on you. They're gonna like punch you with their heads. Come on. And they can aim. Okay. Honey, look here. That's one of the best parts of my job.
Where are you going? Yeah. She obviously can see good because she saw when I was coming or moving my foot to trying to block her. She ran around it. She said, I don't want to go back in. I like it out here. She also has good coordination because she managed to get around me and she picks up speed. You are definitely feeling better. Brat.